Hey everybody, and welcome to the day. My name is Mr. Martin, and I'm going to be your host for just a few minutes here as we get hella meta on figuring out how to use PowerPoint as a screen grab or a video grab interface. But we're going to be using Screencastify to do that, and then you'll see another video that's going to show us how to use Screencastify using PowerPoint. So first things first, I want to show you how to use PowerPoint, like if you already have a lecture made, how to turn that into just a simple PowerPoint video that basically shows as a slideshow. So you can just upload that to your Schoology page, and then your students could click on it, and essentially they're opening up a PowerPoint that just has you talking over it. So if we open up PowerPoint with this one, and okay, so what we're going to do is use this PowerPoint from our World 2-3 class, and to just show you how you can essentially publish a lecture where you go from slide to slide and it's just your voice talking over it. A couple different ways to do this. This is just one of those ways. So first of all, you're going to click on recording up here, and then what you can do is go down to record a slideshow. So in the record a slideshow, this is what your screen will look like. This is the setup that it'll be. And here you can just simply record. And what's going to happen is it's going to record. Now also please know there is an option that I can't use right now, but if you want to, you can go to settings and you can drop down and you can use the integrated webcam. Now I can't do it right now because I'm using the webcam in order to show this video, but it'll basically look exactly the same. PowerPoint will have a little square, which is you talking at your students. And what you can do is you can move that square around. So if you pretend like this is in there, you can take this square and be able to move it around if you'd like. So that's just one option for how your presentation goes. So if you want a little bit of you in there, you can add that into your PowerPoint lecture. All right, so what I'm going to do is there's this big red shiny candy-like record button up here, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to use. Down here you have some drawing tools that you can use if you want to mark up your PowerPoint. And then down here on the left-hand side, you'll see that there is some time code. There's a time code for the whole video and also a time code just for the slide that you're on. So let's hit that big red record button up here, and then it'll give you a countdown so that way you can set up and get ready. 3, 2, 1. Okay, getting nervous. Hey everybody, and then you start talking over your PowerPoint. And you'll notice that the time code for the whole thing and this first slide are the same. And then we click over to the next thing where you can now read this week's preview. We'll take a look at exploitative labor systems in the Americas when the Spanish came over. And you can keep on talking. And if you want to, in this way, there's kind of two options. You can just talk over the whole thing. And so you'll use this button over here to your right, the advance to the next slide button, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow you sort of that conversational feel where you're clicking on the next slide and then you just keep talking, which is valuable because then you have that sort of delivery that you might have in your classroom. However, what it does with the audio is it sort of like cuts out for a second and then comes back in. So every time you click on that, if you're in the middle of a word, it's going to cut that word out basically because it's going to sort of buffer on both sides of the slide sound-wise. So if you have if you say, how to take notes, Cornell note system, and then you click when you say Cornell, it'll kind of cut off the end of Cornell, cut out system, and then cut out part of kind of sort of. So it's nice. You just have to be aware of when you go to the next slide, it's going to have this sort of like cut. Now what you can do instead is to simply record one slide and then stop. Okay, so now what we've done is we've recorded with those 3 slides. And so it'll sort of like get us moving through the intro slide, the preview slide, and then this one, and you'll have that audio. So then what I can do is I can just simply click next to go to this slide, and then I can click record again. And so you'll notice that there is this time code for the whole presentation and then just this slide. So it's 3, 2, 1, countdown again. And now what I'm doing is I'm just talking over this slide. And so if I'm aware that I just want to talk over each individual slide, I can just do it for each one. Now the benefit of this is that while you do lose that sort of conversational flow that you might have in your lecture delivery, if you mess up because for whatever reason, you can just simply stop this and start over instead of having to re-record your entire lecture. So what I'll do is I'll hit stop here. Okay, now that one's good. That one was 27 seconds. I'll click to the next slide. and then you see that this is now set down to 0, and then I'll click record. I get the countdown again, and then I can deliver my lecture on this slide if I want to talk about this, and then if I mess up, I can just start over. So then what I do is I click stop, and I go over here and I just close this window, this whole thing. And then what I have is each of these slides, you'll see, has a little audio. Well, this is a terrible one. You can't see it on there. But on this one, on this slide, you see down here in the lower right-hand corner, there's that little audio, and you can actually adjust the audio. You can turn it up or down. There's ways to jump around in the individual audio. And you can also do some trimming, which I'll talk about a little bit later when we do the whole screen grab. But the audio that we did for the first 3 slides is all there. Unfortunately, I want to play this, but I don't think that the audio will come through. So we'll see if maybe if it's loud enough, the screencast that I'm currently doing will catch the audio, just so you can see that it in fact works. So I'll go play from beginning. I don't know if you could catch that dip in the audio. Okay, and then if I use the arrows, if I'm a student, I click on the next slide, and then the audio starts on that slide. If I click back, it goes back to the beginning, but now it's stopped playing. But if I go back an extra slide, and then come back forward, the audio will come back on. And then I hit. So basically, this is just a great way to have your voice give a little bit of personality, character. Maybe there's something in the slide that you want to give a little bit more explanation to or about, because there's just not, you're trying to keep the number of words on the slide down because you don't want to overwhelm students with a bunch of text. And so, in this way, you can just add a little bit more flavor, some anecdotes, some background information to what is going on in the slide. And that way you can keep the words that are on the slide to a minimum, but you're just using your voice to support what's going on, like you might if you were delivering a lecture or doing some sort of lesson in class. So that's the first thing, which is how to record a PowerPoint slide as just using your voice from slide to slide. In our next video, what we'll see is how to use PowerPoint for a screen grab. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.